I didn't get the $1 million budgets. I got the $50,000 budget.
I knew how challenging this would be to take on playing Michael Jackson, and it was not easy.
Did you know that the upcoming Michael biopic underwent a massive last-minute transformation, with reports claiming up to $15 million was spent on emergency reshoots before the film reached theaters? At the center of the controversy was a wave of behind-the-scenes turmoil and high-stakes legal challenges that forced filmmakers to permanently remove major portions of the movie. Entire sequences that had already been filmed were reportedly scrapped, while writers and producers rushed to rebuild the story from the ground up. The unexpected legal complications triggered costly reshoots, extensive rewrites, and a complete overhaul of the film's original ending, turning the production into one of Hollywood's most expensive last-minute course corrections in recent years.
Like Michael Jackson, it sounded fun, but then the more real it got, the more pressure I felt.
A treasure trove of controversial scenes and never-before-seen footage was ultimately sealed away, with entire sequences cut from the film and locked in the studio archives. Despite the massive effort that went into creating them, these deleted moments may never be released to the public, leaving behind one of the biggest hidden collections of lost material in the history of the Michael biopic.
Would have been so difficult to obtain any of those things.
Today, we're uncovering the shocking deleted scenes from the Michael biopic that audiences may never get to see. One of the most controversial sequences came from an early version of the script, which opened the film in a completely unexpected way. Instead of beginning with the rise of the Jackson 5 and Michael's journey to superstardom, the story reportedly plunged viewers into one of the most difficult periods of his life. The scene opens inside a lavish room at Neverland Ranch. Michael stands alone in front of a mirror, his expression filled with anxiety as he stares silently at his reflection. The room is eerily quiet until the distant sound of sirens begins to echo through the estate. Moments later, flashing red and blue lights illuminate the windows, creating an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty. The sequence was designed to grab the audience's attention instantly and present a far more dramatic perspective on Michael's life. However, filmmakers ultimately decided the opening was too controversial and removed it from the final version of the movie. Now take a look at this emotional image. A man resembling Michael Jackson sits alone in a dimly lit room surrounded by audio equipment and large speakers. Tears stream down his face as he stares toward the camera, appearing overwhelmed by emotion. The dark setting and cramped surroundings create a powerful sense of isolation, leaving viewers to wonder what events may have led to such a heartbreaking moment. Whether the image represents a real scene or simply an artistic concept remains unclear, but it continues to spark discussion among fans. The story then shifts to one of the most dramatic chapters in Michael's life. Early reports suggested the film originally included extensive sequences depicting the 1993 Neverland investigation. Large-scale scenes were reportedly filmed showing law enforcement arriving at the estate and conducting a detailed search of the property. Dozens of actors, vehicles, and complex sets were used to recreate the tense atmosphere surrounding the event. Cameras followed investigators as they moved through different areas of Neverland, capturing the chaos and uncertainty that surrounded one of the most scrutinized moments of Michael Jackson's career. The footage was designed to emphasize the shocking contrast between the magical atmosphere of Neverland Ranch and the harsh reality of a major criminal investigation. Producers reportedly invested enormous resources into recreating these events, building large sets and coordinating complex scenes to capture the tension surrounding the moment. Despite the scale of the production, the entire sequence was ultimately removed during post-production. Legal concerns and ongoing sensitivities surrounding real-life events reportedly played a major role in the decision, leaving viewers without what could have been one of the film's most dramatic storylines. Another deleted sequence focused on one of the most emotionally difficult chapters in Michael's life. The scene stripped away the image of the global superstar and instead portrayed a man facing intense personal vulnerability under extraordinary public scrutiny. Set inside a cold and sterile environment, the sequence was written to highlight the emotional consequences of living through a highly publicized investigation. Jaafar Jackson was said to deliver one of his most powerful performances, capturing a mixture of fear, frustration, and heartbreak. However, concerns about the sensitive nature of the material eventually led filmmakers to remove the scene completely from the final version of the movie. The story then shifted toward the legal battle that followed. Early drafts of the film reportedly devoted significant screen time to Michael's defense team as they worked behind the scenes to navigate one of the biggest celebrity controversies of the era. Boardroom meetings, strategy sessions, and intense discussions formed the backbone of these deleted scenes. At the center of the storyline was famed attorney Johnny Cochran, whose arrival brought a new level of confidence and direction to the defense effort. These sequences explored the complicated relationship between legal strategy, media pressure, and public opinion. Several extended conversations featured members of Michael's legal team debating how best to respond to the growing controversy. The scenes were filled with sharp dialogue and conflicting viewpoints as advisors examined every possible outcome. These moments offered audiences a rare look at the pressure-filled environment surrounding high-profile celebrity legal cases. Despite their dramatic value, many of these scenes were trimmed to keep the movie focused on Michael's music and personal journey rather than lengthy courtroom-related storylines. Another deleted chapter explored internal discussions regarding a major civil settlement. The sequence portrayed Michael struggling with the difficult choices placed before him while advisors urged him to consider the long-term consequences of every decision. Jaafar Jackson reportedly delivered an emotional performance that showcased the conflict between protecting a reputation and safeguarding a career. Although the scene added depth to the story, producers eventually removed it to prevent the film from becoming overwhelmed by legal and financial details. One of the most revealing moments left on the cutting room floor was a deeply personal monologue exploring Michael's connection to the story of Peter Pan. Set in a quiet corner of Neverland Ranch, away from the spotlight and media attention, the scene offered insight into his emotional world. Through reflective dialogue, Michael explained his fascination with childhood innocence and his desire to hold on to experiences he felt had been taken from him at a young age. The sequence aimed to provide audiences with a better understanding of the emotions that shaped many aspects of his life, but it was ultimately shortened to maintain the film's pacing. The film also originally included a much longer look at Michael's early years with the Jackson 5. One deleted sequence followed a young Michael backstage at Harlem's legendary Apollo Theater before a major performance. Rather than focusing solely on excitement and success, the scene highlighted the immense pressure placed on the brothers as they prepared to perform in front of demanding audiences. Joe Jackson's strict expectations created an atmosphere of tension that revealed the sacrifices required to achieve success at such a young age. The dialogue emphasized the responsibility carried by the children, who were expected to help support the family's dreams through their performances. These scenes helped explain the origins of Michael's extraordinary work ethic and relentless pursuit of perfection. However, because the filmmakers wanted to move more quickly toward his rise as a solo artist, much of this material was removed from the final theatrical cut. Another extended sequence focused on the intense rehearsal process that transformed the Jackson 5 into one of the most successful groups of their generation. Inside crowded rehearsal studios, the brothers repeatedly practiced routines for hours at a time, refining every step and movement. The footage showcased the discipline, determination, and sacrifice required to achieve excellence in the music industry. While these scenes offered valuable insight into the group's development, producers eventually condensed them to make room for later chapters of Michael's remarkable career. The deleted rehearsal footage painted a powerful picture of the discipline that fueled the Jackson 5's success. Inside crowded rehearsal halls, the brothers repeated the same dance routines countless times, striving for absolute perfection. Young Michael stood at the center of it all, refining every spin, step, and movement with relentless determination. Any mistake meant starting over from the beginning, creating an atmosphere where excellence was expected rather than celebrated. These scenes revealed the extraordinary physical and mental commitment required to transform talented children into international performers. Although fascinating, many of these rehearsal sequences were shortened to keep the story moving toward Michael's later achievements. Another emotional chapter explored the loneliness that accompanied Michael's childhood fame. Unlike the energy and excitement of the stage, this sequence focused on quiet moments away from the spotlight. Through powerful visual storytelling, audiences would have seen a young Michael observing a world of ordinary childhood experiences from a distance while balancing the demands of fame and constant travel. The scene highlighted feelings of isolation and sacrifice, helping explain the lifelong search for the childhood experiences he often felt he had missed. Ultimately, the sequence was removed to speed up the film's progression through the Jackson 5 era. The film also devoted additional time to the influence of Motown executive Suzanne DePasse. These deleted scenes showed her guiding the Jackson family through the challenges of sudden fame while helping them navigate the unfamiliar world of Hollywood. Acting as both mentor and protector, she provided valuable advice and support during one of the most important transitions in their careers. The footage portrayed her close relationship with Michael and emphasized the role she played in helping the young performers adapt to life in the entertainment industry. Despite its emotional depth, much of this storyline was condensed during editing. One of the most entertaining deleted segments centered on the production of The Wiz, the 1978 musical that marked a turning point in Michael's artistic evolution. The extended sequence offered a behind-the-scenes look at the elaborate costumes, makeup process, and demanding rehearsals that brought the film to life. Jaafar Jackson reportedly recreated Michael's performance with remarkable detail, capturing both his energy and charisma. The scenes also highlighted the beginning of Michael's creative partnership with Quincy Jones, a relationship that would later produce some of the most influential albums in music history. Despite its entertainment value, the sequence was shortened to maintain focus on Michael's solo career. The collaboration between Michael and Quincy Jones continued in another deleted chapter that explored the making of Off the Wall. Set inside recording studios during the late 1970s, the footage showcased the creative chemistry that helped shape a future pop icon. Audiences would have witnessed brainstorming sessions, recording experiments, and spirited debates over musical direction. The scenes revealed both the friendship and perfectionism that pushed the pair to create timeless music. Although these moments provided valuable insight into the recording process, they were ultimately trimmed to keep the film's runtime under control. Another fascinating sequence focused on the recording of the Triumph album and the growing divide between Michael's solo ambitions and the Jackson family group dynamic. The deleted footage showed Michael taking an increasingly active role in shaping the music, experimenting with new sounds and technologies while pursuing a more ambitious creative vision. These scenes highlighted the growing realization that he was evolving beyond the boundaries of a traditional group performer. To accelerate the film's transition toward the thriller era, much of this material was condensed. The movie also originally included a deeper look at the creation of Heartbreak Hotel. This atmospheric scene placed Michael alone in a recording studio late at night, immersed in the songwriting process. Through quiet reflection and creative experimentation, the sequence explored how personal emotions could be transformed into powerful music. The scene offered audiences a rare glimpse into the private side of Michael's artistry, showing the dedication and emotional investment behind his work. However, its slower pace led producers to remove it from the final version of the film. Another deleted highlight focused on the making of Beat It, one of the most iconic songs of the 1980s. The sequence followed Michael and Quincy Jones as they experimented with sounds, rhythms, and ideas that would eventually help redefine pop music. The footage captured the excitement of artistic innovation, revealing the creative risks involved in crafting a groundbreaking hit. Discussions surrounding the song's revolutionary music video concept added another layer of intrigue, showing how ambitious the project was from the very beginning. Despite being highly entertaining, portions of this behind-the-scenes material were ultimately cut to make room for other key moments in Michael's story. The deleted Beat It sequence reportedly captured the excitement of two creative visionaries realizing they were creating something completely different from anything dominating radio at the time. Through energetic studio discussions and experimental recording sessions, the scene showcased the innovation that helped shape one of the most influential songs of the decade. It offered viewers a fascinating behind-the-scenes look at the creative process that helped define the sound of the 1980s. Despite its educational and entertainment value, portions of the sequence were ultimately shortened to make room for larger performance recreations later in the film. The final major deleted storyline focused on the enormous scale of Michael Jackson's History World Tour. Rather than concentrating solely on the performances themselves, the sequence explored the vast operation required to bring one of the world's biggest concert productions to life. Viewers would have seen hundreds of crew members working around the clock inside massive stadiums as giant stages, lighting systems, video screens, and production equipment were assembled piece by piece. The footage highlighted the incredible technical precision behind Michael's live shows, revealing the logistical challenges of transporting and constructing massive concert setups across multiple countries. Fast-paced interactions between stage managers, engineers, and production teams emphasized the pressure involved in preparing for performances attended by tens of thousands of fans. The sequence served as a reminder that Michael's concerts were not simply musical events, but enormous productions requiring months of planning and coordination. Beyond the technical achievements, the deleted footage also reinforced Michael's commitment to delivering unforgettable experiences for audiences around the world. Every detail, from stage design to visual effects, reflected his determination to push the boundaries of live entertainment. The scenes demonstrated how much effort went into creating the larger-than-life spectacles that became a defining part of his global legacy. However, despite the impressive scale and fascinating behind-the-scenes perspective, producers eventually decided that too much technical detail slowed the momentum of the film's final act. As a result, much of the tour production footage was condensed, leaving only brief glimpses of the extraordinary machinery behind Michael's worldwide success. When you step back and look at everything that was removed, it's remarkable how many scenes, character moments, and historical details never made it into the final version of the Michael biopic. From emotional childhood stories and recording studio breakthroughs to major career milestones and ambitious concert productions, an entire collection of footage remains unseen by the public. The question is, which deleted scene would you have most wanted to watch on the big screen? Was it the extended Jackson 5 storylines, the behind-the-scenes recording sessions with Quincy Jones, the expanded Thriller sequence, or the massive History Tour production footage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the lost scenes of the Michael movie, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss future updates, movie secrets, and Michael Jackson stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.